Hey everybody, Merry Christmas, top of the morning to you. It's Christmas Day. It got here, didn't it? Finally got here. It got here quick, didn't it? But anyhow, it is daybreak here in Atlanta at 7:23 as I get ready to read this little post. But it's Christmas Day. The Morning Post and Scrooge woke up on Christmas morning. It is Christmas Day. And once again, we are all alive. It is 5 o'clock in the morning when I woke up. I slept hard. I woke up early on this Christmas Day, wide awake. I must have delivered a lot of presents around the world during my sleep, but I don't remember any of the details of that. Charles Dickens was right. Christmas does bring out the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future in all of us. I sit here this morning and try to think, what was the saddest times in my life? I think it was when years ago I found out that I was HIV positive one afternoon and I hadn't been feeling well. I started mourning my own death. I made plans for dying, serious plans. I had just started a business. I had my dream house in Grant Park, right down the street from the park. I had a new love in my life, and in the midst of all of that, I started making plans to die. For weeks and then months after that day, I planned on dying. It made me so sad. The only other things I could think of as to what would have been the saddest time in my life was when my 13-day-old brother, Jeffrey, died, and I had run away from home during that time, and I never saw him alive. It did a number on me. And then when I was 12, I heard my dad was killed in a car wreck in Texas. I grieved the loss of a man that I never knew. I felt his death in my body. It was like a part of myself died in that car with him that day. It made me really sad. It's harder for me this morning to come up with the happiest times of my life because there were so many of them. Was it when I fell in love with Kathy? Is it now with my life and love with Ava? Was it when Heather was born? Or 7 years later when Kathy had decided to get her tubes tied and I protested and begged her, please, let's just have one more child before you do this. I wanted a son, I told her. She relented and decided to have one more, and Jill was born. Funny how in life, one decision can change everything about life. I was there when she came out. I looked at her and said to Kathy, she is beautiful. Kathy said, I'm like, yeah, it's a girl. And I said, she has a big old forehead, of Seller's forehead. We do have some big foreheads, don't we? Was it when I fell in love with Jeremy and he helped me start A1? And we have so much fun partying and living in Grant Park. He was the first person to let me truly understand that gay people could fall in love deeply. Until then, I had wondered if that could be true. Was it when I started a church and I kept thinking it was God that was giving the increase because the church started growing so much in the early years? But now, I know people came because of me. They came because they were attracted to me. Some will say, well, Eddie, that sure is a lot of ego. Ego or not, it's true. Very few people go to church because of Jesus. They go to church because of a sense of community, of being around people they enjoy being around, of going to a church where the pastor, they kind of like the guy or the lady. Yeah, there's no mystery in that. I loved church work in my early years. It just fulfilled such a need in my spirit. Are Savannah, Chance, and Caleb the happiest times of my life? it is a lot harder for me to say what are the happiest times of my life. There have just been so many of them over my life, with very few saddest times of my life to compare them to. What was the happiest decade of my life? Maybe when I was 15 and driving around a 1963 Chevy 2 Nova, red with a white convertible top. Or some of the decades in between. I can't decide. I just know that it is Christmas morning and I have awakened. I am alive this morning. And I plan on having a very Merry Christmas today. Ava is cooking and baking. We will spend the day together. Today may be the happiest day of my life, or the happiest times of my life. Merry Christmas, everybody. The picture yesterday morning at the shop, the picture over on my Facebook page, a picture yesterday morning I rode over to the shop and I caught the sun just peeking through a window. I love any time the sun peeks through, don't y'all? By faith, I say 2026. It's going to be a good year. You got faith? Why not use it sometimes? Yesterday when I was over at the shop, I went walking up Woodward Avenue. I wanted to walk up to Ace Hardware for a minute. And a guy, he's probably hearing this morning, he slowed down in his car and he said, "Eddie." I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "I listen to your podcast almost every day." And I'm like, "Well, thank you, buddy." And he said, "Just wanted to stop and say hey." And I'm like, "Well, hello." Goodness, it's good to hear from you. And I don't know, but there's something about this right here that's very powerful. A lot more than I ever imagined. Merry Christmas, everybody. I get to say Merry Christmas to you on this right here. I get to tell you I love you on this right here. I get to tell you how much you touch me on this right here. Love y'all.